Welcome to Vancouver and to Granville Island, which is not actually an island. It was built for industrial use and it's a peninsula. It's a beautiful place in False Creek that is a must-see for tourists and locals alike. But I've seen so many videos telling you that absolutely everything under the sun here is fantastic, and as a local of many years myself, I have to say I have my favorites here. I want to recommend my top must go to places, both for ingredients, because this is a place where you can actually get your groceries, get some local produce. They have some wonderful artisans here as well, and then you can also have a meal as well while you're here, and there are so many options. So I want to give you my insider tips because I actually lived off of Granville Island for many years in 2 different apartments, and I will show you the one that I was at first because it is literally as close as you could possibly get to. So this was my grocery store for several years. It's about to get really busy because we're getting close to lunchtime. Let's go inside and I will let you know what my insider tips are. If you took the sea bus over like I did, you will come into the food court side of the market, which is one of the busiest spots. Let me show you around. Local products, delicious Canadian maple syrup, which is the best in my opinion. This place is really popular for lemon squares. They have free samples, which I always appreciate. Benton Brothers is very famous for their cheeses. They have a lot of European selections, lots of yummy options, and will also give you samples if there's something that you would like to try that you've never had before. So first recommendation, but very strange breakfast choice, is Sen Pad Thai. They have the most wonderful pad thai. Look at that pork belly as well. I got my pad thai with shrimp. This is a very popular place. They're well known for their noodles. Just before the rush. It's getting busy. I don't know exactly even where I'm going to sit. This is going to be my only food court recommendation because it is so crazy busy here. Sometimes you can't find anywhere to sit at all. So if you want to go eat in the food court area, there are some really great places. I got a beautiful water view seat that also spoils one of the next places we're going to go. But look at that view. It is so beautiful. I can't get over this day. It's just gorgeous. And here is my pad thai with extra chili flakes. They make it so it's so fresh and delicious. I'm going to squeeze over that lime. It smells so good, so don't judge my weird choice of brunch. It really is brunch, not breakfast at this stage. This is one of my favorite pad thais in Vancouver, and I really like how fresh the flavors are, that it's not ketchup-y, and that it has a generous amount of really fresh, high-quality prawns in it. So you can see, look at that steam. It's going to be really hot. And they make it with really fresh rice noodles. They're not the ordinary rice stick noodles you find at the grocery store.
But at the moment, I'm kind of like saying that I feel sad that I feel like left by myself.
The noodles just have a chew to them that is different than anywhere else I've ever been. Extra chili flakes to go on top. And it just really hits.
I don't know.
An unlikely but nonetheless heavenly combination. Opposite each other is my favorite chocolate shop, Chocolates, behind me, which I'll show you properly in a moment. This is Oyama Sausage Company, and you can barely see through the counter, but they have the best sausage in all of Vancouver. All of their goods are often on fine dining menus. They have so many flavors, so many different options for something unlikely and delicious. The duck prosciutto is wonderful. They also have quite a lot of cheese on the side over here, but my favorite section is to the right, if I can catch a glimpse for you in between the thick of people. Here we go. The pate section, absolutely delicious. You cannot go wrong. They're also creamy, so good. They make everything themselves with really high quality ingredients, which is very important for charcuterie. And here is a glimpse of the sausage options, of which I will be buying 2 for breakfast for Sunday morning. So these are handmade, award-winning chocolates. They are one of my favorite gifts to give because they're just amazing. You can see their awards there and some of their selection here, and I'll point out some of my favorites. So I'm going to get the Gastown tin for my friend, and I'm moving into her place tomorrow, so she'll get to enjoy them while they're fresh because they don't last that long. But these are basically my favorite ones. So the orange is wonderful. The pepper and mango, I know sounds weird, but it's really, really good. Grapefruit and vodka, also excellent. Passion fruit, wonderful. And then the whiskey maple is very popular as well. They just have so many wonderful flavors. I'm back in the food court area now, and I'm at Terra Breads. I have a quick tip for you, for some of you who may be staying in an Airbnb or somewhere where you don't have a lot of supplies and you don't want to buy like a ton of groceries. So I got some really good sausage at Oyama, some really good English mustard. I'm going to get some cheese, and then I'm going to get a demi baguette here at Terra Breads. They have really good bread. The Bianca panini is also really good. Easy meal to put together. So Lee's Donuts is one of the most popular places in Vancouver for donuts. I personally prefer Cartems though, so I'm not going to get one. But if you want a classic style donut, this is a really good place for it. If you prefer interesting flavors, definitely try Cartems on Pender and get either the Earl Grey, or if you're adventurous, the Parmesan. Excellent. Very last tip before we head outside of this busy market. If you come to the very end of the market, you'll see Seafood City. They have the freshest seafood, in my opinion. There's a lot of other seafood places that are closer to the food court entrance area, but this is where I've always gotten my fish. And if you have a proper kitchen, you know, with more ingredients than I do, so I won't be doing this time, but it was always one of my favorite things to do. You can get a fresh whole fish, or even better, if you like mussels, they're Salt Spring Island mussels. When you just literally simmer them with some white wine and some garlic and not much else, have the best mussels. They taste so sweet, so fresh. They just have the best flavor. And once I started having those, I stopped liking ordering them in restaurants because they just have never tasted as good to me. So that's it for the indoor market. There's so much to look at, so many beautiful flowers as well. There are two really good florists inside the market. So once you leave the indoor market, there's a ton more to explore, so definitely don't miss it. One of my favorite areas is the Loft Shops, which is kind of another indoor market. It's this little area with lots of shops. There's a bead store in here that I used to come to. Now I don't find their supplies to be premium enough for what I make, but it's where I used to come and get fun stuff like crystals and things like that, and they have sun silver. But they also have some food items here. I don't have anything I would highly recommend to you. What I would recommend instead is to come in here and just explore the boutiques, because there are two really cute stationery shops in here. So the first is for more like postcards and traditional cards. They have an insane selection, as you can see, even just standing outside. And it's just really nice and peaceful in here, except for this one store, which is my favorite as well, that is always a little bit busier. You can see just standing outside, it's got twice as many people as everywhere else because it just is that cute. It's called Paper Ya, and this is a stationery store, so they have everything under the sun. And if you're into diaries and things like that, you will really enjoy their selection. They have a large selection of moleskin books, which are pretty hard to find here. Every pen you could possibly imagine in every possible color that you could want, and it's just really fun to spend time here. So I'm gonna have a little browse. So this is the official entrance for drivers of Granville Island, and right behind this building on Fountain Way, so just tucked in there, was my building that I lived in for about 2 years while I was still in Vancouver. There's a beautiful seawall walk over here. Look at that view of Falls Creek. Another beautiful one. And over here is my secret locals recommendation for you that tourists never seem to go to. So this is actually Culinary Academy. It's called Blue Hat Bistro. It's got a lovely view as well. And so, as I said, this is a school for people learning how to cook, and they have a menu that changes all the time. so I can't tell you exactly what you would be eating, but I can tell you that the food is wonderful. So here's a sneak peek of what they are serving today, because it is currently Dine Out Vancouver. They have a special menu. They usually do some great seafood, some great proteins, and everything I've ever had here has been really well prepared. It may seem odd that I'm recommending something that's right outside Granville Island to you, but Granville Island has a lot of restaurants that are kind of so-so. You know, just your so-so seafood, kind of like very average Eggs Benedict, and so I wanted to recommend something a little bit different that you're not just going to walk past or that you may not see in somebody else's guide, because even a lot of people I know who live here don't know about the Culinary Academy there, and it's really well priced as well compared to some of the other restaurants on the peninsula of Granville Island. I'm going to make an assumption that if you're going to visit Vancouver, you'll probably not be doing it in January, so I'm going to show you my very favorite patio for a drink in all of Vancouver, which again is not somewhere that you would kind of stumble on if you didn't know. So this is a hint that you should go check out my full dining guide for Vancouver, because I have a shot of what this actually looks like with patio furniture, but it's just the most beautiful view, and they have really comfortable seating, really good cocktails during the summer, and fire pits for chilly evenings. It's on the marina. It's beautiful. They also do a pretty good brunch. I've often taken my mom here for Mother's Day, and they do a good job, so this is my recommendation for an outdoor area in Granville Island. So I'm standing in front of this very Instagrammable sign right now. I'm at Pina, which is a newly opened restaurant. It actually started as a pop-up and it became so popular that it is now permanent. Now, I was actually going to come and eat a lobster roll here. They have an excellent, very generously lobstery roll here that is just really well made, which is very hard to find in Vancouver. We don't have a lot of places that know how to make a good lobster roll. However, I just went in and asked, and the wait is an hour, so I'm going to skip this, but I'm still going to recommend you try it. They also have some puff creams, which is their signature dessert. It's just a really cool place to come. It's just very sort of millennial chic-ish, and there's not a lot at Granville Island that is new in terms of restaurants, so it's fun to see something new and inventive pop up, so I definitely wanted to show it to you. However, I have another secret that I'm going to share with you. When I dated a long time ago showed this to me, and I've never heard anybody else mention it, so this is a secret that even locals who live around the area wouldn't necessarily know about, and it's actually part of a very popular restaurant called Sandbar. It's a lot of people's favorite seafood restaurant on Granville Island. I think it's good, but not necessarily groundbreaking for their offerings for brunch, etc. But there's a little something that's secret about it, and I want to share it with you all today. So we couldn't get a lobster roll, we're going to do that instead, and I've called ahead and they are expecting us. And when I say us, I actually mean me and my camera, because they're not normally open for lunch in this area of the restaurant, but they're going to open it a little bit early. So just for your purposes, you probably want to show up, I would say between like 3 and 6 p.m., but I've also gone there a little bit later in the evening as well and had it still be open. Up to the back, there is another door to Sandbar, and it is a very well-kept secret. So most people who go to Sandbar don't even know that this is here. When you're in the main body of the restaurant, it's a giant room. You would never think that this is where the back stairs lead unless you come here. But down here, they've actually revamped this, so it used to look more Japanese. Now they've gone a bit more with an oyster bar vibe. If you've never had Kushi oysters, they're an absolute must. They have wonderful, wonderful sushi. It's really good. It's actually called Hoshi Sushi Bar, and that's how it used to be branded. But now they've kind of tried to make it more one and make it feel a little bit more like a classic East Coast style oyster bar. But the sushi here is an absolute must. They have really, really good wild salmon, and the wonderful thing is that it's a total secret and it's usually pretty quiet. Other than for those who, like you, are now in the know. They've been so kind as to open it a little bit early for me and to provide me with the Cure Royale. Treating myself to a mid-afternoon drink and oysters. with oysters. It's called liqueur royale, so it's cassis liqueur and prosecco, and it's so refreshing. A little bit of sweetness, so good. Favorite drink ever. I'm so excited to have oysters. I haven't had any for like 6 months now. I really missed it, but I don't really tend to trust a lot of oysters, and this is a place where I know they are trustworthy and fresh and delicious, and it's so cute down here. This little well-kept secret that I've always loved over the years, so I'm really happy to get to share it with you today. So we're going to finish this video off properly with some delicious sushi oysters. Look at that. How beautiful are they? They have like this purple glint to them that reminds me of my nail polish color. Weird to say, I know. So I'm a horseradish person, so I'm going to add a little bit of that. And I love like that bite of the horseradish, and then my drink has that little bit of fruitiness. It's just a really, really good combo. Well, cheers. It's nice to make just a regular, beautiful Saturday a celebration. Come and visit Granville Island. Come to this little secret spot and have your own mini celebration. Cheers. Thank you for watching, and I will see you